Okay, so 7.6 is on cross sections. The first definition, we're going to have a few definitions today, is prism, which some of you guys have already heard this word. But it's a 3D figure with at least two parallel congruent faces. I think you've heard faces in 6th grade, called bases. And they're polygons. Okay? So that's our definition. It's a 3D figure, so it's not just flat. It has at least two parallel congruent faces called bases that are polygons. In 6th grade, and you don't have to draw this, but you had things like maybe you had a rectangular prism. They're kind of not too hard to draw, but I'll draw one for you here. Okay, so we have bases that are parallel and congruent. You also had like triangular prisms and things like that. So that was 6th grade, okay? A pyramid is a 3D figure with one base that is a polygon. Its other faces are triangles. If you want to look at a picture, they're on 593. So I'm going to show you, after you guys write this down, I'll just show you the pictures of them. But hanging above you, you have pyramids now. These kites are pyramids. So these all have triangular bases, right? Can you have a square base of a pyramid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pyramids in Egypt, are they square bases? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I know you all went there over break and stuff, but yeah, they are.
Oh, I went to Mexico.
Oh, cool.
Where over break?
Okay, so remember, a 3D figure with one base that is a polygon, its other faces are triangles. So if you look above you, you can see the triangles. Okay. If it was a square base, you would still get triangles. If it was a square base, how many triangles would you have on the sides? 4. Good. 4. I'm going to show you guys a picture of what I'm talking about here in just a sec. So on 593, move this up. Can you guys see? Nope, I have to move it just for a sec. So basically, they show you the prisms and the pyramids. So this is a triangular base pyramid, that one's a square base, and then prisms are like that. Okay, so if you want pictures, you can always look in your book. All right. A plane, not an airplane, a different plane, is a flat surface that goes on forever in all directions. This would be something like the universe. A flat surface that goes on forever in all directions. Goes on forever. And then we have a term that uses plane. It's called coplanar. Coplanar. They're line segments in the same plane. So it's just like a straight line from here to there. As long as they're on this flat surface, they're called coplanar. And I think you guys already know the definition of parallel, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're not sure, you can just write that quickly down, that parallel never intersects. Any questions so far? You guys have heard most of these terms before? Mm-hmm. Maybe plane and coplanar might be newer, but I think you've seen them. Okay, so here's a little drawing for you. If you want to draw it, I'll give you some time. It's just draw like a square, rectangle, it doesn't matter. All right, mine's kind of rectangular. It's a little crooked. Do you guys know how to draw these?
Yeah. Somewhat.
So I'll draw another one if you want to follow along what I do. So I'm going to draw a square once I get my pencil to work. A really kind of crooked square, but you get the point. Okay? And then you can draw another square that intersects it. Have you done this before?
Yeah.
Okay? And then you just connect all the corners with diagonal lines. Anyway, the point is, you guys know what the faces are, right? You guys know what the faces are? How many faces on a cube?
6.
6. Good. Do you guys ever roll the dice?
Yeah.
It goes 1 to 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just checking. And then edges are basically like these pieces that connect each face, right? And then the vertexes are the points of connection. So if you look above you, the straws would be the edges in those kites. And then all the little corners where they're tied together, those would be the vertices, vertex. And then I think you already know what a diagonal is, so. Yeah, the papers are the faces. Good. Right? So the faces, cube has 6. So does a rectangular prism though, right? Okie dokie. Anyone have an idea why I'm giving you all this information? What are we going to do with this information?
We're going to take a test.
Math? Yeah.
Make a pyramid.
No, we're not going to make a pyramid, but kind of review, because we have to know how to do some things. We have to know how to do you guys see the at the top of your notes it says cross sections?
Yeah.
Cross sections. So we kind of have to understand our shapes and all our vocabulary so that when we take a cross section we know what we're doing. Okay? Also in the next chapter 8, we're going to be looking at all these shapes again. Okay? So it's 2 chapters with some shapes. All right, skew lines. Yeah, question?
Is there something called 4D?
4D?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's 4D.
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, there is. Okay, if you want to know, you Google it before then. Excuse me. Skew lines. Skew means they do not intersect and are not coplanar. Okay? So these are 2 lines. They never intersect, and they are not on the same plane. So this is like a line in the Milky Way and a line in another galaxy. Okay? They never meet up. Okay? And then finally, we need to look at the cylinder and the cone. Just a quick review of cylinders and cones. Do you remember cylinders and cones from last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah? Really? That'd be awesome. Okay. So, do you guys remember what R is? If you had a circle, radius, right? I put them down here for you, and H would be height. Okay? And so you guys see how a cylinder has 2 bases? A cone only has 1 base, right? What's the area of a circle? The formula? Anyone know? Yeah. Good. Pi r squared. Do you remember that? Pi r squared. We're going to do more of that in chapter 8. It's in the back of your book too, huh? Yeah. Okay? So I'll let you guys kind of draw these and just remind yourself what the radius is. What's the diameter? I didn't write it down, but what is it? Yeah. Wait, he raised his hand. Okay, go ahead. Zach.
Isn't it like in between the circle, like kind of like the length between
Yeah,
the circle?
the whole length. The radius is half of that, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to draw yourself a little picture to remind you, draw a circle, and this piece right here, right? The whole piece is the diameter. And then the radius would just be half. So sometimes they'll put like a little dot in the middle. You remember that?
Yeah.
Good. If you remember this kind of stuff, you're already ahead of the game for the next chapter too. Okay. In about 30 seconds more, I'll let you get these down, and then I'll turn the page. There's only about maybe one more sentence to write. In short. Okay. And there's better pictures of this in your book if you don't like my pictures, but they're there for you. Okay, let's talk about cross sections now, finally. Cross sections. The cross section is the intersection of a solid and a plane, and you can take slices out of shapes. So there's 3 different ways to slice it, okay? Vertical, angled, and horizontal. I'll let you write that down, and then I'll get my shapes and I'll show you.
Delivery.
Oh. Can you maybe put them on that table? Thanks, guys. I didn't realize I was getting those back today. Score. Okay, so cross section is the intersection of a solid and a plane. So remember that plane is like that flat piece, right? You can have a vertical, that's up and down slice, an angled slice, or a horizontal. Horizontal. Remember horizontal is flat, like the horizon. Okay? And let's see. I'm going to show you, I think you guys are familiar with a sphere, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone knows what a sphere is? Mm-hmm. Okay. What if I cut this in half? What shape am I going to get in my cross section? Anyone know? If I cut it just like half right down the middle, either vertically or horizontally, what shape will I get? A circle, right? It's a circle. Is that easy? So the cross section of a sphere, any way you cut it, what if you cut it diagonally? It's still a circle, right? Okay? So the cross section of a sphere is going to always be a circle. What about the cross section of a cylinder? Here's a cylinder. What if I cut it horizontally? A circle. What if I cut it vertically?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. Because what if, have you guys ever seen where they like peel open and it's like a can, right? And it's a rectangle? Have you ever seen that? What if I cut it diagonally?
That would be triangle.
Maybe a oval? Maybe. Okay, what about the cone? What if I cut it horizontally?
Circle.
Circle. What if I cut it vertically?
Triangle.
Triangle. What if I cut it diagonally? Oh, you guys don't know that one yet.
Oval.
Not oval, but an ellipse. It's actually an ellipse.
What the heck is that?
What if I cut this cube vertically?
Rectangle.
It's a cube.
Cube.
Square. What if I cut it
Square.
this way? What if I cut it that way? It's always a square.
Because the square is
It's always a square. Okay? What about, let me find a better one. Okay, what if I cut this rectangular prism vertically?
It's a
So you open it up. Rectangle. What if I cut it horizontally?
rectangle.
What if I cut it?
rectangle.
Triangle. Triangular prism.
It's still a rectangle.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you cut it this way,
That's a triangle.
No, it's not.
the inside, it broke it open.
That's a triangle.
You break it apart. Okay, one more. All right, here's a good one. Okay, this is a triangular prism. All right, so I'm going to hold it this way. What if I cut it down this way?
That's a triangle. That's a rectangle. I don't know.
Who said rectangle? You're right. What if I cut it this way?
That's a triangle.
That's a rectangle.
Are you sure? Who said trapezoid? Could be a trapezoid, huh?
What is a trapezoid?
Trapezoid.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Good. Good job. All right, so you guys understand cross sections? It's like cut it in half, open it up, what do you get?
No.
All right. We're going to practice. Don't worry. All right, so the practice is 596, 1 through 2, 597, 3 through 5, and then there's the homework there. So let's do the practice first.